Welcome to the first Access SCC of 2012. In this episode, we'll take a look at a new show here at SCC that's all about having fun in the kitchen.
We've got some important reminders on preparing your show for playback, and I'll take you behind the scenes with the award-winning staff responsible for Northeast Journal.
Minnesota's winter weather can make outdoor shoots a little more difficult, but don't worry, we have some tips to help you out.
Stay tuned, Access SCC starts right now.
As you've probably noticed, winter has finally arrived. Some of you may be happy about this, and some of you may not. But regardless, we all need to keep some valuable tips in mind when checking out gear in this colder winter weather.
Frigid temperatures can be very damaging to our gear, especially our cameras. A good rule of thumb is, if it's too cold for you, it's probably too cold for the camera too. And while it's okay to transport gear in your vehicle, be sure it's inside with you and not in a truck bed. And never store any items in a vehicle long term. Cameras can't withstand temperatures below freezing for long periods of time. Cold temperatures cause condensation that forms inside the gears of the camera and on the tapes that can cause irreversible damage to your equipment and your footage. Leaving gear in an unattended vehicle also puts it at risk for theft. Don't forget that you are responsible for all equipment you check out. Other field production gear like mic kits or lights are susceptible to winter weather.
My name is Joe Cullen, and I'm the producer and host of Northeast Journal on the Government Television Network, Channel 16. I believe Northeast Journal started in 1994, and that was a little before my time here at GTN. I was still in high school at that point, but I think it was the first show they did here at GTN. And the reason they started is we serve 12 communities for the Ramsey, Washington Suburban Cable Commission, and some of our cities have their own individual shows, but Northeast Journal, it's kind of a magazine-style show, and it gives all of our cities a chance to be spotlighted in one show. So that's how they started, and it's had a number of hosts over the years, and I was lucky enough to be able to do the show back in 2001, and I've been doing it ever since. But first, let's venture into Vadnais Heights to take a look at their new City Hall, which was officially unveiled earlier this summer. A lot of times you don't hear a lot about these cities, you know, on the major news networks. You hear a lot about what's going on in Minneapolis and St. Paul, and pretty much any time you hear about these communities up here, it's maybe when, you know, something bad happens or crime or something, which doesn't happen a lot in this area. But it's nice to have an outlet to focus on the positive things happening, whether it's, you know, at our city halls or in our schools or new businesses, that type of thing. So it's a great way to show that, you know, these 12 communities out here are a great place to work and live and raise a family. We're always working a month ahead, so you know, the show airs for an entire month. So you know, we probably in the beginning of the month, just trying to generate story ideas.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Access SCC.
You can catch the full show on YouTube and see clips and segments on our Facebook page.
And if you haven't already, be sure to visit our website and find out how you can be a part of your community media center.
We'll see you next time.
Welcome to Voices of Experience, brought to you by the Minnesota State Retiree Council, AFL-CIO. I am Dan Michael, President Emeritus of the State Retiree Council.
Almost every one of our local news stations, KARE 11, I know did one that featured Breaking Free. As far as an extended, I think it's up to like 6-7 minutes long. I think they did a 2-part series. Again, that's focused
by attorneys and other people is that
what the losing side said in this situation is you start with the statutes, and then you move the statute up to the Constitution, and you see if it's in line with the Constitution, because you assume the statutes are constitutional.
So I encourage you to call in with any questions or comments that you might have as you watch some of the video that I have to share with you this evening. Because public access TV, it is the best forum for citizens to be engaged, to express their opinions, and to join in the community dialogue.
The Explorers program for youth aged 14 to 20 provides an opportunity to explore a career in a student's field of interest. SCC Exploring covers television production, including field cameras, studio production, and editing skills. This year, our 8 explorers have shown amazing talent and commitment to the project. In honor of the post's achievements, the Northern Star Council presented SCC with an Innovation Award on March 14th, commemorating our post's creativity. Explorer Adam Bezekny accepted the award on behalf of all the explorers and advisors. Explorers Claire Umberger, Jacob Anderson, and Josh Hozek were also in attendance.
Hi, I'm Adam Bezekny, and I'd like to welcome you to tonight's program, the Mega Magnificent Monster Movie Madness Show, or as I like to call it, And
you hope that you've done everything to keep them healthy and safe while they're at college. One Minnesota family thought they had done that, but what happened to their daughter they never could have imagined. Here's Stephanie's story. Last June, Stephanie Marchiavava was away at college when this healthy 20-year-old suddenly became very ill with a high fever and a severe sore throat.
I'm doing a lot better. I've had no lasting effects, except for some of my hair started falling out a couple months after.
Celebration, inspiration, education. Come see Dr. Moyed and celebrate with other survivors and their families.
In advanced placement, college in the schools, participation in scores, and also the rapid rise in both ACT and SAT. So those are available both online and in the annual report, which will be sent to all community members. But back to
what we call life on a plate, right? Tell us your story. How did you get involved in cooking, in the culinary arts? Who was your inspiration?
Very Homicidal Companion is due out September 1st. He will be reading from it today.
And the fun part was, for me, just going through all these stories and picking out the 11 best. And that's how this came together. So there are 11 short stories, including all of the heartless murderers.
But rules are rules, and in news, facts are paramount. So when I sat down to write fiction, I had expected it to be easier. But I found myself missing the facts.
Welcome to this August edition of Local Image. We're on the property of a local resident in the city of Grant. Grant was settled by farmers from the east coast of the U.S. in the 1850s. It began as a township and became a city in 1996. Grant is known for its large lot sizes.
You feel like you're doing something that really makes a difference.
Yes.
Helping young people succeed. They call on you for advice and you develop a relationship. I would always visit with them on their job when they were working so they knew I cared.
Today we're finding work all over the world. I don't want it to be on my tombstone that I shipped 400 million tons of steel. I wanted to say that I helped develop 400 people along with the rest of the senior leaders here.
Juggling and some of the other hand-eye coordination skills. But when you hang upside down and I tell you to move your left leg and your right arm, you're going to want to move the other one. So all of a sudden everything is different, kind of like looking in a mirror. And the coordination that the kids learn is pretty significant. Their agility, their flexibility, and then from that comes self-confidence. And if we can build self-confidence in young people while we're building strong bodies.
Lord, just one part of you. And I would like to see this project go into the schools, and I would love to see people having dialogue, not only about their pain, but also to talk about how this music has made them feel.
Sun keeps shining, it's a classic scene, a placid dream. The music's blasting and the bath is steamed. I wish they all were like this. I found my bliss, give my wife a kiss. There's blessings that I might have missed, but that's alright, cause I feel alright. Giving
senior graduations got a wake-up call about what can happen if they choose to drink and drive or ride with someone who has. Within a 24-hour period, students here not only witnessed a mock crash scene, they also viewed the consequences.
Today's part 2, day 2 of the every 15 minutes exercise, and so after yesterday's mock crash, we're going to give students a look at how the decisions and the actions that occurred yesterday impact family.
Now I'm left thinking what could have been.
You've grown from a small boy and matured into a very fine young man.
Dwayne Seachlog with White Bear Lake Police. Can I come in and talk to you? Very sorry to have to tell you this. There was an accident and Bo has been killed.
No. And by all accounts, this event was a total knockout success.
Well, this is the Knockout Hunger event, and it's an opportunity for people to showcase youth boxing and to support the food shelf that's sponsored by the Lions Club, Merrick, and the City of Vadnais Heights.
We're outside the poorhouse, actually outside of Brett Michaels' bus. We're hoping to get on, but I know someone who is going to get on. His name is Manny Pace. He's with the Scott's Company. How do you feel tonight about this whole thing?
Oh, we're really excited to be helping out Rob and his family and moreover the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. We saw Rob's story. We just had to step up. It's something that's part of our culture in the company is to try to reach out in our communities, and I happen to be local, and we pointed it out, and the company just ran with it.
Patients get diabetes.
Gotcha. I
So
just met
that's a
another one
huge
who
part
had
of
a
it.
woman who had come in, it was both diabetic and cystic fibrosis.
Right,
both.
right. So, you know, we're on the same team there too.
Right.
So we appreciate it.
You got it.
Honestly.
Well, I'm honored to do this, and we're going to make it, besides making it fun and making it a good time, it's also, and I said this, and making awareness is such a double-edged sword because there's a part of you that's passionate.
At age 34,
Yes.
I think we all would agree that that is significantly young for a colon cancer.
Heroes from across the upper Midwest are coming home from wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Only now, some have a new battle to fight, unemployment. Hello, I'm Rocky Lynn, co-founder of Tribute to the Troops.
I enjoy going to Home Depot now. I mean, I get excited.
You are now officially graduates of Cardin High School.
It's so great to share our cultures.
Star teacher, Mr. Tom Hagel.
On location, TV19 Sports, bringing you boys varsity football from White Bear Lake's South Campus. It's the White Bear Lake Bears, the home team, versus the away team, the Hastings Raiders.
And hits the side of the cage. He gets it right back on a bad pass. He moves in, goes to the backhand, and he scores! The shorthanded goal for Slattery.
Third shorthanded goal of the season for the Pioneers, second of the night for Slattery. And yeah, it's one of those things I mentioned up top, Tim. You got to be able to break out of your zone. The Bears a very bad turnover there, and Slattery going to make them pay 9 times out of 10.
we're all skiing together. It's kind of neat to see how we've all progressed.
Quinlan drives this one to right, and that's going to drop in there. We'll see if they send the runner. They do.
We got to play.
Throwing. They let it come in, and Blom with that speed races home.
26th Century College Chemistry Magic Show. Go ahead, eat it.
I'll tell you we're the best of friends. I found out where life begins.
Indulged in an innocent fiction, which is not in the same category as telling a regular terrible story. I'm gonna build a little home for 2 or 3 or 4 or more. A triple helicopter!
Yes! Pretty impressive. My teddy bear has one eye and has no hair.
About next year attending, when there's some more clowns. See, I told you they do not take this seriously.
As over 100 parade units strut their stuff.
And let's start by standing as we have the White Bear Lake American Legion.
Government Television Network and On Location TV 19 present Vote 2012, live and local. With election anchors,
Anyone here today could be elected a precinct delegate and work all the way up to become a national delegate and go to Tampa, Florida this August.
There's actually a myth out there that a photo ID will protect the integrity of our system by preventing voter fraud.
Short answer to that is that I didn't address that because it's not at issue here. Of course there's not a challenge to the Minnesota amendment. It hasn't been enacted.
And much of the audience were in their parked cars near the bandstand, and at the end of each selection they would honk their horns loudly.
Notice the barn in the back? Many of these places had barns because they had horses. They had to have a place to keep their horses. There's a modern picture of it.
Serve this nation. Most of our veterans coming back from these wars are successful. They've been highly trained. They just need a little help getting started in life. Whether
we could work out something with Comcast too.
Yeah, and I think
upgrade that.
I think the biggest.
And the stormwater, there was adequate cash on hand. There would have been sufficient cash had they done interfund loans.
And return home to their loved ones after they have a medical emergency.
Yeah. GTN crew went out with a couple of our ambulances, and so at this time let's take a look and see what they came up with.
Ambulance is coming, okay? Were you driving?
Yeah, I was driving.
Okay, were you driving this car?
Yeah, I was driving.
Okay. What happened?
And I couldn't see. I was,
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
I'm 18.
18?
Yeah.
You been drinking?
September edition of Northeast Journal. I'm your host, Joe Cullen. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll chat with the superintendent of the Matamidi School District, Dr. Mark Larson. We'll take a look at National Night Out activities in our area, and we'll play some t-ball in White Bear Lake.
Hello, and welcome to Oakdale Update.
Officers from across the metro gathered together at the Maplewood Police Department. We'll tell you why in this half hour.
88% of cardiac arrests occur in the home.
Are a walkway because some of our senior veterans are very sensitive about walking on names. And
GTN 16.